Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon podcast. I am your host, Perry. It is episode 402. I hope you're doing well. I am potentially not. I hate to start things off on a bad note. I talked about this on my live stream. I'm just gonna get this out there. If my energy is weird this week, if I seem like my brain is in a bit of a fog, it is because I likely am losing my job this week. If you don't know what I do, I work in the state government, but my state government job is directly tied to the federal government. And if you are living under a rock and you don't know, we are in the middle of a government shutdown. I won't go into what that means, but essentially, the government is not operating, of course. And there is no funding for the government at the moment, but my program has a limited amount of funding for a period of time, and the funding is running out. And we were let known this week that if the shutdown continues, we would likely be furloughed. And there is a good chance that if we are furloughed, we will likely not be brought back. Of course, this hasn't happened yet, but there's a really good chance that it will happen. And my brain has been it's been swimming in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, trying to reach shore and not been able to get. It's just it's not been a fun few days. But anyway, we're gonna have a good podcast. I'm going to be happy that what am I even saying? I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, that's what's going on, is my brain is just fried. It's completely and utterly on the moon. It's mush, and here we are. Happy Wednesday. Woo! Things are great. Things are awesome. We're doing fabulous here. Anyway, we kick off episodes with a segment called Flying Blind. The Flying Blind segment, of course, is in a constant state of flux because I don't have a co-host at the moment, and I don't have somebody that I can blind things with. So what does flying blind mean these days? It just means whatever. It means I could try a sample that I haven't had in a while, or a bottle I haven't had in a while, or I could be trying blind samples. Or a bottle that I've never had before. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm trying a bottle that was sent to me by one Joseph Brazo, who sent it to the P.O. Box. The P.O. Box is 22609 Lexington, Kentucky, 40522. If you also want to send samples or bottles or whatever. This is in celebration of the 8-year anniversary of the podcast. He also sent a card. Which, if you're an audio listener, I love you to death. But this is mostly a visual gag for the video watchers, which if you're only an audio listener, you're what keeps the show going pretty much. But there's a video component on youtube.com/This Is My Bourbon Podcast, where I also go live on Thursday nights, along with twitch.tv/My Bourbon Pod. Brain, function, work, please. I beg of you. I have things I need to do. But anyway, he sent a card along with it that has a big number 8 and some balloons on it. And on the inside, it says, it's great you're 8. Celebrate. And it also says, you're such a big boy. Love, XO. Thank you, Joseph Brazo, for sending that to me. It's wonderful. But he also sent a bottle of the new Woodinville Straight Rye Whiskey, 8 years old, 100 proof. I have not, of course, tried this yet. It is insanely dark. It looks like soy sauce almost in this bottle. So we're gonna crack it open. Oh my Lanta! We're gonna try some of it, and that's what's happening. Again, the brain fog is immense and fun. I'm having a great time. This episode's going to be crazy. Of course, if you haven't read what the title of the episode is, we're going to be doing another installment of the Best Way to Drink series. And this week is going to be Old Fitzgerald's 7-year Bottled and Bond, the new release, which I've not done a review of yet. But I feel like at this point, why would I? Because everybody's done a review. You have likely had it yourself. And if you haven't, this is just another way to find out how you should be drinking it. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But in the meantime, though, oh my goodness gracious, that is one of the darkest whiskeys I have ever seen. That is not even in the double-digit age statement. That's an 8-year. That's crazy. Oh, that nose. It is baffling how intense this nose is. Oh my gosh. Ripe fruit, dark caramel, brown sugar. We got a lot of like peppermint too. I mean, this is a wild nose. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Let's get into it. It made my tummy happy. My tummy gurgled. Man. This is, and I feel like I say this a lot about just really good rye whiskeys, but this feels like what rye whiskey should be in so many cases. The fact that this comes from the Pacific Northwest and has this much color, this much depth, has not gone through. I mean, it could have. I don't know, man. But likely has not gone through extremely hot summers. I mean, maybe it has. Look at the color on this thing. It's crazy. It's like ruby red. It is dark and deep in color. It's intense, dude. I mean, this is an incredible rye whiskey. I'm very thankful to Joe for sending it to me, and we're not quite at the actual 8-year mark for the podcast. We're very close, though. I mean, right, basically at that mark. But getting to episode 400 and 8 years right at the same time is a fun little accomplishment, and It's a good time of celebration in and of itself. All of that being said. Let's talk about what I've been drinking recently. I ran over to see our buddy Chad, my daily bourbon, at the at Rare Character the other day, and it was good to see him. I got to try some new blends that were oh gosh, excuse me. I don't know what happened there. Got to try some new blends that he is in the middle of working up for the Rare Character limited release series, which if you have not tried any of those yet, please try them. Whether it's the rye or the bourbon or the straight whiskey, which is typically like a blend of like bourbon and rye or bourbon and light whiskey. It's fantastic stuff, and I try to do reviews of that as much as possible, but also I don't want to like only do Rare Character stuff, because then it would just be a Rare Character podcast, and that would be kind of pointless. There's too many good things to do on the show, even though I do adore Rare Character. But I brought him a blend that I made as well, that I made on the podcast, on the Patreon, rather. October 26th is when the first episode of the podcast came out. I got to mark that on my calendar so that I know it from here on out. Man, things have changed a lot since then. That episode was only 35 minutes long. Dang. Huh. 35 minutes. I got to go back and listen to that. That was a fun time. What was I saying? A blend that I made on the Patreon during a pregame chats, and that was just a fun little thing. And then I keep going back to I keep going back to the Mere Twin Wade Boggs Oktoberfest, because it's just an incredible beer. I've also been drinking on quite a bit of the Jefferson's Cast Strength. It's really freaking good, man. It's just phenomenal stuff. I'm a big fan of it. I really am. I think they just absolutely nailed it with this release. I've had some, there have been some ups and downs this year. And that one is certainly a highlight for me. I don't think it's quite at like the top of the list, as it were, but it is definitely up there. It is definitely up there. So we'll see. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to top 10 time. I don't know how that's going to look this year. I don't know. Look, I don't know why I'm turning away from the camera right now, but I am, and I'm kind of talking into half of the microphone. I don't think I'm in. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I am deeply considering the possibility of introducing a new co-host or two to the podcast. We shall see. I don't think it's quite time yet, but it is in the forefront of my mind. And I think that I think that we are moving in the right direction, at least for that to be a reality. So, be that as it may, I am still enjoying this period that I am in with the show. It has been fun and freeing, and I think this is not it's not a down period necessarily, but I do look forward to what is continually this like what's next kind of energy. And I'm enjoying it a lot, and I hope you all still are too. But all that being said, this is good, man. This is good stuff, and the podcast is still my break from reality, which I especially kind of need at the moment. And I said this on Patreon, but should things go a little bit south in the coming week, expect there to be more content, whether it be streaming on Twitch or Patreon or bonus episodes or whatever. Just be on the lookout because there will be stuff that is out there. So, folks, we got a quick little chat that we're going to have here with my new friend, Matt Simons. He is going to be talking with us about a festival that is going to be happening in Louisville here in a couple weeks. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thanks for having me, Perry. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me real quick and tell the audience about what you are doing with Louisville Metro United Way.
So I'm the director of corporate partnerships with Metro United Way, but I'm also a bourbon enthusiast. And so when I came there a couple of years ago, I noticed that they didn't have a lot of event-based fundraising opportunities. Now, listen, I'm also a musician and a DJ, and I've been to 1,000 of these rubber chicken, boring fundraising things that happen at various locations. No offense to those organizations. I'm sure they're great organizations, but not a lot of imagination sometimes in these events. So when I came, I said, hey, I want to throw a bourbon forward, spirits based kind of fall festival, elevated fall festival with live music and entertainment of different sorts. Of course, silent and live auction, things like that. And they said, sure, show us what you got. And then now we're on our second annual United Spirits Fall Festival.
So what are some of the, because this is a fundraising event as well, what are some of the groups that you all are raising money for?
Yeah, so Metro United Way is its own nonprofit. However, it says it right in the name, in the Metro Louisville area, which is Louisville, but also Shelby, Oldham, and Bullitt County, and then Clark, Floyd, and Harrison County in southern Indiana. It's our job to unite the way to a better community. So we work with about 1,000 different nonprofit partners, a couple of hundred which we fund, and then the other 800 or so we work with on various initiatives. But one thing that United Way does is we are the convening and collaboration agent in the city, meaning we look at data and say, where are the greatest needs? And then we partner with corporations, government entities, and nonprofits to address those needs. Most of our work is around thriving kids and strong households. So we want to make sure kids have what they need to get to and through school. And then we also want to make sure that they're sent home to a great household, or at least a decent household that doesn't have the fear of being evicted, that has a little bit of savings and knows how their money works so that they can continue to live in a great environment.
That's excellent. I really appreciate the fact that y'all are doing that work, especially as things are, a little bit tumultuous in it not just in Louisville, but across the country, of course. But I want to focus too on how this event is going to be fun for people who are attending too, because it's not just a bourbon event as well. And we'll talk a bit about the brands that are going to be there, but there's more to it as well. There's a cigar lounge too for people who want to come and smoke.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the event. So It's on Thursday, October the 23rd. It's
Mm-hmm.
at Progress Park. If you have not been to Progress Park, get your phone out right now and Google it as you're listening to this podcast. It's an amazing indoor-outdoor facility. It has an event space. It has 11 Airstreams on the property, a lake, fire pits. Like think of like fall camp or something, like a summer camp type environment, right?
It's awesome.
So this event will be, we'll have live music from Reverie, which is Kevin and Dan. They're friends of mine. They played last year. The reviews were so good, we had them back. The food is by Crowler Catering. If you haven't had Crowler's food, it's absolutely great. There'll be vegan and vegetarian options as well as some good old meaty options as well. We're really just running back the food we did last year. The reviews were so good. Ember and Ash is a minority-owned cigar lounge. They will be there as well. They bring out the TVs. The Thursday night football game will be on, that type of thing. And then we'll also have, as it gets dark and the fire pits get fired up, we're going to have a few things. One, we have a s'mores bar. So this is a bar of like different types of chocolates and caramels and marshmallows and cookies. You can make your own s'mores and make them over an open fire pit. But besides that, we have a magician, Richie D. He'll be working the crowd throughout the night, doing like kind of David Blaine type street magician stuff, early David Blaine, I guess you would say. And then after dark, we have a fire dancer. And so after we do a 30-minute program where we talk about United Way. We do the live auction. That's where the trips and the bottles and all the stuff that people want to bid on will be. But then we'll have this fire dancer out there and providing just a great atmosphere. We'll have artist Jason Loyce on site. He always paints a picture during the event. And so it's just like it's a fall festival. It's an elevated fall festival. It's a really good time with 15 bourbon brands on site and wine and tequila and gin and just all different types of cocktails as well.
It's nice that there's, not just something for everybody, but it's kind of a family event as well. Getting a chance for
sure.
Kids to have a good time out there too. I'm a father. I've got 2 kids, and even at a bourbon event, it's always nice to bring family around and be able to give the kids a chance to enjoy their time out too. So.
Yeah. Be fun.
I love that. So who are some of the brands that are going to be there? I think our listeners would be excited to know who's going to show up.
Yeah, no, I love that you asked me that. So they're kind of in alphabetical order here. I'm really just looking on our event page, but Angels Envy's been a partner. Angels Envy's been a partner for the last 2 years. They'll be there again. Barrel Craft Spirits, Ned will be there from Barrel. Buzzard's Roost, Jason and the crew will be there, and they've been very good to me and my family personally, good friends of ours. Castle and Key, the Jays, Jordan and Jeremy, they're going to be there. They will be doing the welcome cocktail. And we did a barrel pick with them last year. It was kind of like a signature bottle that we sold. We'll have a few of those left from last year's event in our bottle pool this year.
Wow.
So Castle and Key, Country Boy Brewing will be there. Heaven Hill is activating with their tent and whatnot. They'll be pouring grain to glass. They said with the rye and the bourbon. Jefferson's will be there. Maker's Mark. Oh, so Maker's Mark is coming big this year. They'll have their Maker's Mark trailer there, but they're also donating a barrel. So there's going to be a barrel available at this event. It's a full 240 bottle barrel. It's their private select. And then you have the opportunity to go to their distillery, have lunch with the master distiller, transportation provided, up to 6 people, pick the barrel, and then also pick your own kind of finish that you want to do on it. They finish it for 9 weeks, and then you come and pick up the 240 bottles. So Makers is going to be there. Michter's will be there. They always have a great pour, and they've got some good bourbon in our auction as well. My good buddy Russ Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Will be there as well. We have Mum Napa Champagne in the house. Peerless, Johnny Wadle will be there from Peerless, pouring all the good spirits from there with the sweet mash. We got Shaw Ross Importers will be doing wine, and then Smooth Ambler is coming down from West Virginia and bringing their trailer down. And their trailer is a big, huge like cocktail bar. It's just a really cool thing. Suntory Global Spirits, which most people know as Jim Beam,
Yeah.
will be there. And so there'll be a lot of Beam stuff. We've got some Little Book and some Knob Creek 18 and stuff in our silent auction, but also they're bringing Hornitos Tequila and the 196 seltzers that they do. So something that if you get tired of bourbon or you're not a big bourbon fan, something else you can sip on. And then one of my favorites, West End Gin, is local here to Louisville. Stacy's, just been a great supporter of us. And then finally, Watch Your Proper. Chef Mike Crouch will be on site with his burgoo brisket chili thing he does, and then he will be in the live auction. You can get Chef Mike Crouch to come to your house and cook for up to 8 people, and he brings bourbon and wine with him, and it's a fantastic package. So those are the brands that are going to be there and some of the experiences. On top of that, we have a home in Key West for sale at the live auction. We have a trip to Mexico. You can choose Cabo or Puerto Vallarta, different locations. And then I've put together some bottle packages that are fantastic. I mean, we're going to have, obviously some birthday. We'll have still working on a big boy Pappy, but we've got some Pappy in there. And then, I've got a purple top 2022 Angel Share from Willett that is 139 proof, 9-year age, just an absolutely beautiful bottle. And then I got a private select barrel Russell's Reserve that's off the 20th anniversary of Bourbon's Bistro. There's so many bottles I can't even mention them all, but we'll do a bottle. We'll do a bottle pool. We'll have bottles in the silent auction. We'll have bottles in the live auction. It's going to be a really good time.
Sounds great, man. Hey, where can people go to buy tickets if they are interested in showing up for the event as well?
Yeah, so from a web perspective, you can go to like metrounitedway.org/United Spirits. But here's the easy way to do it. Just go to Google and put in Metro United Way United Spirits, and it just pops right up. And if you can't, sometimes you're listening to this, it's hard to remember. United Way, United Spirits, right? So just put in Metro United Way, United Spirits, and it'll pop right up. Join us. It's a great time. I think we have definitely less than 100 tickets left. So as you're listening to this podcast, if you're interested, I'd jump on there right now and get the ticket. It's $100. It's $100 for all you can eat, all you can drink for 4 hours, with live entertainment, s'mores bar, magician, fire dancer, fire pit. Just a great environment. Smoke cigars, the whole deal.
Sounds like a great time. Matt Simons, thank you so much for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Perry. Appreciate you.
All right, folks, this is one of my favorite series that I get to do on the podcast. I say get to do like my corporate overlords have deemed it worthy, but no, I literally just, I just do this because it's a thing that I do on the show, and I have fun with it. But this series is called The Best Way to Drink. And I do it from time to time. And it's almost like a sister or a companion style review to my normal reviews on the show. But what I do, if you've never seen it before, I'll explain it for you real quick. I take a particular bourbon or rye, and or just a whiskey in general. I don't really have I don't care. And I try it in 4 different iterations. I take it neat. I take it with a few drops of water. I take it on a rock, which is typically just like an ice mold. This is the Death Star ice mold. And then I do it with cola. This time around, I am doing RC Cola, which is one of my favorites. Actually might be my favorite. It's Royal Crown Cola, if you don't know. And actually it's kind of having like a resurgence for some reason. I don't particularly know why. I might even do sometime in the near future. Which RC Cola goes best with bourbon? That kind of episode. Because, I mean, why not? There's no, rhyme or reason. No, not necessarily no rhyme or reason, but there's no parameters to what we do here on the show. or what I do here on the show. I guess I can do whatever the heck I want, man. But all that being said, though, my father-in-law also says that RC Cola makes the best bourbon and cola possible, and I am want to agree with him in many cases. But I typically prefer the zero version of colas. I was only able to find the regular full strength soda edition this time around, which is fine. I never drink soda, so I'm going to give myself a pass here on this Saturday afternoon, because why not? You know. All that being said, though, let's go ahead and start out with the neat pour. Oh, I didn't even say what I was doing. I'm doing Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond 7-year. I guess I said it earlier in the episode, but I didn't say it at this point. But this is the new shelf standard offering from Heaven Hill. It is, of course, 7 years old. It follows the Bottled and Bond regulations, presumably. We don't know for sure, but if it does say Bottled and Bond, we just kind of, have to assume that the distillery is following all of those regulations set forth by the government, that it is aged at least 4 years. This one is age stated at 7. It is no more and no less than 100 proof. It is aged in federally bonded warehouses. It is made at one distillery during one distilling season. And it is, that's it, right? They pay taxes on it. I mean, everybody pays taxes on whiskey these days. So I think I've hit all of the regulations. I don't have to talk about it as much as I do, or as much as I did when I was doing tours back in the day. I miss doing tours very much. I miss doing tours. But anyway, so let's start with the neat pour. We'll talk about that. This is also going to serve, I guess, as like my small little review of Old Fitz Bottled and Bond, which I will talk about. For this being their wheated product, using their wheated mash bill, I think that this is one of the better iterations of it. And I also think that they really kind of put their best foot forward with this. It's not that I dislike Old Fitz Prime, but it's not my favorite of their Old Fitz lineup, or my favorite of their wheated bourbons. I don't even particularly love Larceny as it stands. I mean, it's good. It's not like out of this world great. But it's good still. It's still good. That being said, though, once we hit that Bottled and Bond mark, man, there's something that you should be looking at with this run. Whatever little trials and tribulations they have run Bond mark, with man, the Decanter series, I think that this is you should be looking at the best iteration of Old Fitzgerald with this, Bond that you could have gotten. This is and a truly exceptional, just like shelf standard Bond mark, offering. Man. I think that they nailed it. And if I'm you not should be looking at what, like with this $40, no, sorry, like $50 a bottle. Oh, and this is funny too. If you're watching the video version, I pulled this up, but on Heaven Hill's Bond website, mark, man, they've got a how to enjoy page. You should be looking at Old Fitz 7-year with this and they walk through like the horse's neck, the boulevardier, the bee's knees. They've got a bunch of different cocktails, and the reason I don't go into like an old fashioned for this
Bon Mark,
for
man.
this series is because with something like a bourbon and Coke or a bourbon and
You
cola,
should be looking at.
you can kind of, make your assumption
this,
on the cocktail side of things for a particular pour. Now, is it, the most in-depth way of examining it? No, not necessarily.
Bon Mark, man.
But at the very least, you are getting
You should be looking
a
at.
concept of where you can move forward past that. So that being said, though, this neat pour is so full-bodied, it almost doesn't
examining
read
it
like
no,
a
not
weeded
necessarily.
bourbon. If you're somebody who sits on the fence with weeders,
You should be
it
looking
gives
at.
a little bit more spice for it being a weeded bourbon. It's so caramelly too. Oh, no, not necessarily. I'm a fan. I genuinely am a fan of this. Oh, I was gonna look up what the price was on this. I apologize. Again, as I was saying at the top of the episode, my brain's a little bit mush right now. $60. Really? $60? Retailing at an approximate $59.99 per 700 ml. This is 700 ml? What? Really? Highway friggin' robbery, man. Let me tell you. Nah, I'm joking. It's funny because, and I mean, this is like an aesthetic point of view, but A, I didn't know that. B, I honestly don't care, because as far as like the presentation of this bottle goes, it is near perfect. I think if they had done anything different with this, it would have been a crime. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful bottle. $60 might be, I mean, if you consider what the price is on the regular Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, which actually I should probably do for this series as well. It seems a little bit elevated because I'm pretty sure that price is $45. I'm not entirely sure why they're bumping this up $15 higher, while also offering it in a slightly smaller size of bottle. I mean, I understand that there's the international market, which is what they're using this different bottle size for, but it's just, it's a little peculiar to me. All that being said, though, neat, absolutely excellent. Let's move on to the added water side of things. It very much just nukes the nose. Any kind of like ripe fruit or fresh fruit that I was getting before has now turned into like stone fruit, like melon.
This is getting into like the old Fitz Prime territory, unfortunately. Palate's not bad. Palate's quite good, actually. Ooh. Palate gives it more of a chocolate character, gives it more cinnamon sugar. It's not quite as elevated as the just straight up neat pour, but it doesn't suffer on the palate quite nearly as I was anticipating it would. There's not a lot of finish directly up front. It's a little bitter, but as it eases into the palate and slowly, because it does like, it does kind of take its time on the palate with the water going into the finish as it slowly moves its way into the finish. It's not bad. I mean, it's got a nice length to it, but I'm kind of two minds about it. It's very middle of the road with water added. I like that it kind of transforms what's going on with the palate. It noses pretty poorly. Like I said, it gets into like Old Fitz Prime territory, but it definitely doesn't taste like Old Fitz Prime. And what I'm really talking about is that like 80 proof version. If you remember Old Fitz Prime prior to like I want to say like 2016, 2017, and maybe even earlier than that, it was an 86 proof bourbon, and they pretty recently dropped it down to, man, this is, if we're talking like 10 years ago, I was I was feeling like 5 years ago. Pretty they dropped it down to 80 proof. And that was such a massive shift for the product itself that it doesn't quite hold the same weight that it used to. My great aunt actually used to be and there's an old episode of the podcast that I did with it's Bourbon Night and my dad, where he went through my grandmother's liquor cabinet and pulled out a bunch of old bottles. And amongst them were Old Fitzgerald. And the reason that my grandmother had them was because my great aunt drank Old Fitz Prime as her daily drinker. And we drank some of them, or a couple of them, with Chad and Sarah back in the day. And it was fun. It was an interesting time. That was not a particular. Those bottles, I think, had soured a little bit, unfortunately. But it is what it is. All that being said, though, this, even though it noses kind of like Old Fitz Prime, it doesn't drink like it. That's my that's the end point of that conversation. So let's go ahead and let's move into the on the rock portion of the tasting. So I cut a bunch of this out because because it doesn't make for good radio, and you can probably tell based on the cut that my hair looks different. But I was trying to get the ice mold out of the Death Star cube, and it fell and it broke. So now instead of having a rock, I have a rock and a half. If you're watching the video version. So let's see how this operates once chilled and is on ice. It made it so sweet on the nose. It turned it into a sugar bomb. It smells like it just straight up baked goods. Like walking into a confectionery and it smells like sugar. Well, I don't love that. I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. And if that makes sense. Sugar. It is like aggressively okay. It kind of takes it into a savory profile, which I'm not happy about with Old Fitz. And because Old Fitz feels like sugar. It should be a sweeter bourbon. I'm going to say that this is out of the running. It's not doing it any favors, and it's definitely not yeah, it's not working. It's just not working, unfortunately. All right. Let's move on to the cola. I'm going to add some ice. And then we are going to crack it open. I'm not using an ice ball this time. I am actually just using ice cubes. And we're going to crack it. If you're a Patreon listener, you know I didn't crack that directly into the mic like I did my Liquid Death during Pours from the Floor. Oh. Actually, you know what we're going to do before? We're just going to take a straight up taste of RC Cola. I love being in the RC Cola revitalization. What am I trying to say? I don't know. Revival? That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway. It smells great. I mean, genuinely, it smells great. It doesn't quite smell like bourbon and Coke. It's its own thing. Here's my problem with full strength sodas and bourbon. The bourbon can get lost and overpowered by how sugary the soda is. I think that bourbon and Cokes, bourbon and colas, are better served with zeros. Come at me in the comments, at me, whatever, hit me up in the DMs. I think that the best version of a bourbon and Coke, bourbon and cola is the zero version of that cola. Now, this, though, is really good because it is nice and sweet. But I just wish that there was a little more of the bourbon influence. And I cut it out because, I mean, it would just be literally me pouring. But I did add a little bit more bourbon in there. And even then, it didn't do much. So I can't believe I'm saying this. And I'm going back through real quick just to make sure. Oh, absolutely. The best way to drink Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond 7-year is right out of the bottle into your glass. Neat as the day was born. Holy moly. Everything else just doesn't stack up. Nothing else can even compare, unfortunately. I mean, they're good, but I mean it's not bad on, again, that's the unfortunate part of this. I think that's the thesis statement. It's not bad in any of its other formats. It's just the best way to engage with it is as it stands. You want it to exist in other formats and it to perform really well. And it does fine, but it's just not as good otherwise. But neat, man. Neat really does something else on a completely different level. So try it for yourself. Let me know. Hit me up. Tell me how you feel about it one way or another. At my bourbon pod. This is my bourbon shop at gmail.com. Or just comment below if you're watching on the YouTube version of the podcast. Or there's a text thing that you can also use if you're there's something. I don't know how that works. It's through Buzzsprout, our hosting service. But you can also send us a voicemail or a text directly to our hotline. It's for our segment called Barrel Rings. We call that the thing we do because of the rings on a barrel of bourbon that ages the whiskey itself. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you. It's probably because I have no cognitive functions that allow me to operate as a normal human being at the moment. But otherwise, that number is 859-428-8253. You can call and leave a voicemail, and I'll listen to it on the show. You can also send a text message to that number, and I'll read it out. 859-428-8253. It's a segment that you can be a part of, and just be a part of the show. It's great. We've got one singular barrel ring this week. It's from our buddy Jared. Let's see what he had to say.
What's up, Perry? I just wanted to call and say congratulations on 400 episodes. I know I'm a little late, but I wasn't sure how many parts of 399 there was going to be, 3, 4, even 6, 7. So I wasn't sure when to call. But no, it's a fantastic accomplishment, even through all the recent turmoil you've had. Big congratulations. I'd like to see that you're still going strong, and we're not going to lose our content anytime soon, hopefully. So, congrats. Keep up the great work, and I will talk to you again soon.
There's no content that's being lost anytime soon. The reason for splitting up episode 399 into two different parts was because, and I think I might have mentioned this on one. It might have been the very first one. I'm not entirely sure. But the reason that I split episode 399 into two parts was because if I hadn't done so, it would have been an almost 3.5 hour long episode. And I didn't necessarily want to do that to people. I also it just, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, Patreon. I'm gonna back up a little bit. But also, like, if I had, released $3.99 as, Bourbon and Beyond interviews, and then 400 Bourbon and Beyond interviews part 2, like, it just wouldn't have felt right. So I wanted to actually, do something that celebrated the podcast. It would have made sense in that regard. Like, it seems like, when you take everything into account, I wanted to actually, like, make episode 400 like truly special, and I could have gone through the whole process of, trying to put off episode 400 until it was the right time. You know what I mean? And continually doing, like, episode 399, part 4, part 17, part 300, just waiting for the right moment. But it's still, I think it worked out. But I also want to, I want to see something real quick. This is just kind of like a thought experiment.
What's up, everybody? You've reached Grease's phone. Leave me a message. If this is Perry, do not leave a message. You call me more than these people wanting to upgrade my daggum car warranty, okay? Stop calling me.
Okay. Well, high proof hot takes. Segment of the show. The reason I wanted to do that was just to show you guys that he was, like, legit not expecting me. Or maybe he was. I honestly don't know. Like, I think he was mad at me. I think he's still mad at me. But I don't it doesn't matter. Anyway, high proof hot takes. Segment where I rattle off some things that I've been frustrated about, that yeah, I just need to get off my chest, And I'm already going through a lot right now, and I don't have anything. I just don't have anything. But I do have tips and bits this week, which is a segment of the show where I recommend things that I have been watching, reading, listening to, enjoying, that I also want you to check out because I think that it's going to improve your life in one way or another. And let me tell you something real quick. I just started playing the new Donkey Kong Bonanza on the Switch 2, and I'm literally like 30 minutes in, and it is so much fun. And when Super Mario Odyssey came out, and I didn't play it initially, but was I've talked about this on the podcast before. And I know that there are people who are tuning out. I apologize, but video games are still a big part of my leisure time. Super Mario Odyssey is maybe my favorite Mario game of all time. It is the most immersive and comprehensive Mario game that gives me the chance to not think too much about what's going on in my life, and it's very escapist. But I love that game so wholeheartedly, and there was this is not an original thought that I necessarily had, but I do remember thinking, wouldn't it be nice if there was a Donkey Kong version of this game? And there is now with Donkey Kong Bonanza. And again, I've not gotten super far into it, but it is so much fun. I just so quickly adapted to its play style and the ability to interact with the world around it. And it's beautiful. It's an incredibly well-crafted game. I think it looks spectacular. I'm excited to get further into it, and I can't wait to talk more about it too. I'm sorry that I will probably bring it up more, but not so much that it's going to be annoying, I think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've been getting into. I don't really think that there is. Just kind of been plugging along over the past week because here we are. That's what we're doing, man. And I hope that by the next time I talk to you, things are better than they were previously. But regardless, I hate to shill for the shill. It's my own Patreon, and I ask you to support the show that you listen to on a weekly basis. But the link for that is in the description below, but it is also patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. And you can support the show for as little as $1 a month, but there is bonus content at the $5 and up tier. There are other rewards at different tiers from the $5 and up tier too. I really appreciate everybody who supports the show. It used to be this way. I don't really qualify it this way anymore because things have changed a bit, but I kind of used to call it an extra paycheck a month, and that was super cool to be able to say. But I do appreciate everybody who supports it and keeps the show going because this is extra work that I put in, and I have late nights. I have early mornings that I do for the show, and I appreciate everybody that listens and watches and keeps any kind of interest in what I do here. And when I inevitably get laid off from this job, I will continue to make content for you because it's what I enjoy the most out of my out of what I get to do otherwise. That didn't make any sense, but I'm just gonna keep pushing along. You can follow the show on all social media at My Bourbon Pod. You can also hit up the inbox with questions or comments. This is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise that I design at bourbonshop.threadless.com. Get a logo shirt, of course, and some other stuff too. Some pillows, some friggin' wall art, some phone cases, some skateboards, so many good things over over there. All you have to do is just browse, and there's so many things that you can find, and it supports the show. Bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can send things to the P.O. Box, P.O. Box 22609, Lexington, Kentucky 40522. You can also leave a barrel ring, as we said before, 859-428-8253. My brain just pooped. He just pooped. And then I know I'm forgetting something, but I'm just ready to get out of here because I want you to go about your day, and I appreciate you. But you can leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast app. Let's see if there's anything new on the... Nope, there's nothing new. Also, I said to Frankie N and JC Shaw 47 to hit me up and let me know how to send samples out to you. And I have not received a message from either of you yet, because you left reviews on the daggum Apple Podcast app. Where you at, man? Where are you? I want to send you samples. I would love to do that for you. Anyway, that does it for this week's episode. Thank you all so much. Next week, I have no friggin' clue what's going to happen, but either way, this has been episode 402 of the podcast. I love you very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. I will see you real soon. Until then, though, I am Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast.